It's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 155th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we are doing a special WokeNFree story time, first of its kind actually, and it's called 21 Questions About Love. Ooh la la.
Good one.
You know, it's feeling sexy already. But before we turn on the Marvin Gaye.
Is that where this comes from, this reference?
Nah, player, you know that's 50. 50 Cent. What up, homie?
Oh, that's tough.
Well, actually, that begs a question. Is he the first one to say 21 questions? No, not in the music, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, because you know the song, 21 Questions.
Yeah, well, of course I know the song.
But I'm not sure if
he came up with that number.
Well, I don't think so, but I wonder if he's the first one in a song context to do it. That's an interesting... WokeNFree Nation, if you know that answer, please put that in the comments. And how do you do that? We're so glad you asked. It's your favorite time of the day. My monologue.
Righty, right so.
What is that reference from?
It's sort of like a Australian kind of thing. I think they say that
you know nothing about.
I know nothing about it, but it just seems like that's a phrase they would say. I'm just taking a guess here.
I wish I knew I had a Harry Potter phrase I could say to you. That's what I want to say right now.
Oh, Harry Potter phrase?
Yes.
Catch the Quidditch?
There you go. Something like that.
Actually the snitch. Quidditch is a game.
Yeah.
See,
it's been a while.
I haven't read that in a while.
I'm not finished it. I have to go in.
Wow.
So first, if you go to WokeNFree.com to not only listen to the episode, but to download it through the Podbean app, you're amazing. You're fantastic. You're our next best friend. Hello. Because that is the best way for you to show your love and support, but also how you join the conversation. Yeah. That's really critical, guys.
It's easy.
We need you to, it's easy to do, and it's the best way for you to join the conversation. We're having weekly conversations. There's no reason why you shouldn't be a part of it. So make sure you do that. Now, if you're like, ha. Remember, guys, from last week.
Is that what that's from?
Yes, I will be better. Deep breaths. You listen to the show, but you listen on other platforms like iTunes.
Similar to
iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Hello, WokeNFree Takeover. There's many places to catch a show.
Yeah.
So if you are not necessarily doing it through the Podbean app, then make sure you are subscribed and followed on whatever platforms you're catching this on so that you can show your love and support there. Now, when it comes to sharing is always caring. And it's something that we can do without having to spread COVID-19. It's also something that doesn't enhance or incite racial injustice or inequality. It's really remarkable, actually.
That's good.
So just share the episode, share it on social media, share the episode, share. If you've subscribed to the show via email, which you can easily do on the website at WokeNFree.com, you can forward that email to your friends and family. We all are part of multiple networks at once. Get to spreading the word, y'all. Y'all know when you like something, you do that. So please do. Now, for social media, you can easily talk to us and find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest at WokeNFree. And then if you have 90 seconds, por favor, review the show, because that's how you give us feedback and we know how we're feeding into you and your life and your eardrums. And we want to make sure that we're giving you what you want, and that if you want to hear different stuff or want to hear more of something, that you're getting that to us. But you can also share that feedback through comments in every episode you're catching. But reviewing the show would be phenomenal on any of the platforms you catch us at. With that, I'm pretty much out of breath, so we're going to call that scene end.
Are you ready?
Always.
Let's go into 21 questions about love.
Get it, Daddy. I never call you that, so I thought it'd be
that's definitely a different
phrase
there.
It made you uncomfortable.
I didn't freeze up or anything, though. I was ready for
What
it.
you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
Hey, what you talking about?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
That was actually
No
a question,
more.
though. That was a question. That was literally the first question.
It was also a beautiful reference point
Yeah, true.
for any other 80s babies out in these streets. Love is emotion. It is AKA a chemical reaction. It drives us to do the wildest things in life. It drives us to take the biggest risks in life. We build businesses. We have families. We have beautiful music, and we change the world because of it.
All right. Mm-hmm. Love is when you care for someone to a very large degree that living without them would be a net negative for your life.
Why do you sound so clinical in your answer?
Because I have to put it very straightforward. There's no mixing this up with anything else.
A computer could have said that.
They may have made that sentence on their own. You know, AI can write articles and may have written about love this way.
Don't say that. I'm a blogger too.
Yeah, well, careful. Your job is at risk.
Careful.
Your job is at risk.
Whose job isn't?
True, yeah, you're right.
Matrix, here we go, guys. When did you first fall in love? Question number 2.
I can only fall in love once.
Okay.
I gotta put that forward. And that was after spending copious amount of time with my love of my life, who is my one and only.
Who's that chick? She sounds fabulous.
Maybe.
¿Qué pasó?
This is about love.
So seriously, who are you talking about? You're trifling. I just want to let you know you're trifling, and the whole show and the whole world knows.
All right. I thought it was pretty clever. I mean, it was clear to me.
The fact that you didn't name the person, yeah. So it's like low-key, like your lover somewhere.
But the question said when. It didn't say whom.
Oh, snap.
I guess I took it too literal. Oh, well. That's my fault.
To answer the question, question number 2.
Yes.
If you ask my younger self, I would say I fell in love at the prime age of 6 years old. He knows who he is. His name shall not be named. But anyone who knows me back in the day knows who I'm talking about. Now that I'm older and I have more sense, and I'm not a simpleton.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I was a complete feeble-minded simpleton.
No, you were a raging genius.
True. I would probably say, it's interesting. So I would also probably say, was there like puppy love in high school? Probably, I think, a little bit. I wouldn't say that
I call that infatuation.
That relationship was null and void. I would say that there was definitely opening of the heart. Would I say it was true love? No. I think it was a step up from the obsession that was at 6.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that child. And then I was able to really become an adult and fall in love with my one and true and only.
Okay, good. See? It was all about the whens. That's exactly. I just follow the question. What is the craziest thing love ever made you do?
Question number 3 would be that. So for me, I would say going into a blizzard to get you cake from Stone Cold Creamery at Penn State.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That was very daring. Mine's a little bit better. It was give the last fry in the bag.
You're that trifling and hungry?
No, there was one fry left, but I'll let you have it. And that's crazy. Because I always have to have the last one. Yeah.
You're trifling. That's what I'm saying. You're so trifling. I can't even with you, Khalil.
No, but you remember, they say that's how you truly know if you love somebody. If you give them the last piece.
From the Brothers film that I recently watched, too. You must have heard me stalking me, you creepy person.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason. Come on. That's a good sign of love.
No, it's just because you're greedy and you would eat yourself into oblivion if you could.
It's not a greedy thing. It's a love thing. That's all I'm telling you.
No, meaning you want the fry. That's why it's crazy that you're giving me it, because you're really pissed off about it. But you're like, no, I love you, so I'll do this.
I love you so much, I'll give you the last fry.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I suck, though. Yeah.
No, you don't suck. It's just, man, I have to go through pain and,
Here you go.
Tough times.
You've got to go through pain, Khalil.
Pain, yeah. Tough times ahead, that kind of stuff.
Your ancestors are rolling around in their graves.
To give up the last morsel, I mean, you never know.
All my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill him dead.
Yeah.
Question number 4. What do you like most about love?
Having someone dependable.
Nice. So a dog.
They're not dependable. I mean, they're reliable. I would say they're reliable, but I don't know. Dependable?
Okay.
No, they're not dogs.
All right. I would say the feeling of endless support and championship. I think that's important and a necessary part of a healthy love relationship.
Number 5. What is the worst thing about love?
You still have to do stuff for your partner even when you're mad as hell at them. And we've definitely endured that in our relationship where I literally could like throw hot oil at you. But instead I just make you the fries and the shrimp that you want. And I just sit and drink water or something harder.
All right. Hard water. Cool.
Correct.
I think the worst part about love is when your partner is jealous.
You're trifling AF.
Because
you're talking about me.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. Can I change my answer?
I have not made your life hard because I'm
not saying you made my life hard. I'm just saying what's the worst thing about love. That's literally it.
Why is it worse? Why is it the worst part?
Because someone's constantly thinking that other people are a threat when there's no threats around. And it's just sometimes...
I wonder why people do that.
It's all this pressure and it builds upon you and it's like this thing on your back. To the point
where you're going to break. Yeah.
It's like this monkey on your back that you can't get off and you say, come on, just let me live. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, let me live.
You know, jealousy can be toxic. That is not a great thing.
What isn't?
You can have, so in terms of jealousy, you should only have maybe 3% of it. That would be pretty good. If you have over 50%, it is a tough thing.
Question number 6. Is it possible to be in love with more than one person at once?
We've definitely gone over this before, but I feel not in romantic love. I think if you're loving more than one person, one still tops the other. Maybe you just need to contemplate it more and figure out who do you truly love. Because maybe you like this other person, but you have love for the other one. Like well, here we go. I said that. But the scenario is if both are on the train tracks and you can only save one, which one would you choose?
Ooh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And you know there is one that, or you let them both go. Yes. Whoops. Like I love them both too much, they both must die.
Or you just die instead. You sacrifice yourself.
But no, that'd be all 3 of you dead. You're all 3 on the track. I guess you could do that. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, just sacrifice.
Well, I can't choose between either.
That's an awful choice.
But that's how you know. That's how you know who you love. That's a scenario you can play around in your head.
Trifling. Oh my goodness. Well, my answer to that is obviously the answer is yes. If anyone has watched Twilight, I am Team Jacob forever. Jesus, Taylor Lautner, love you. Seriously though, you can be in love with more than one person at the same time, similar to what you said, because not every love is the same. There might be a love that is more romantic for one person that you're like, give this to me, yes. Dependability, love, friendship, da-da-da-da-da. But there might be someone else where it's just a platonic love, but you're just like, oh, love you. But you don't want to like hit the sheets with them, right? So it's a different, like you're just like, I can't get enough of you, but you're not like, give it to me. There's a difference. And then there's also like crush love. Hello, Michael B. Jordan. I adore you deeply, deeply. I just say that's that to get you so mad.
But that's what's great. I'm not even a jealous person. I can sit here and not do anything.
Okay, so when Michael B. Jordan wants to join the show, what do you say?
Welcome aboard.
Oh, okay. With your guns, huh?
I don't have 2 guns out. Come on.
Okay.
I don't buy a rifle just for the day that he shows up.
Michael B. Jordan, you're welcome any day.
Yeah, because
you
don't have to worry. You have a non-jealous partner. It's cool.
I bet. Just a dog, right? And 72 more.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea. Number 7, can love be dangerous?
Ooh, yes. If you lose sight of yourself or your needs because of the love you have for someone else, it's super easy to get so wrapped up and entwined with someone else and wanting to know how you can make that person's life better, how you can be a part of that person's life. You could just literally, if you could just like not know where you begin and where they end, it's super easy to just like meld, like mind meld and physical meld with them. So I definitely think love can be very dangerous. And you?
And I agree, because at times you put your partner above yourself. Just like I said previously, giving the last fry in a bag.
Trifling.
Very dangerous times, Ed.
Question number 8. Can love be addicting?
Yes, especially when you're in those honeymoon stages when you both are putting your best selves forward. I think that's like the most fun time, and you just can't get enough of each other, and
Definitely.
Everything else goes by the wayside, but you have each other, and you're just having so much fun that you can have. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
It's like having a special drug.
Yes, it is. It's like drug L, like the love drug. Yeah. It's so amazing. Loving someone can be very overwhelming. It's important to keep perspective. You have to still accomplish your dreams and goals, and the love you have for that person needs to further that. It shouldn't be a distractor. Now, granted, in every relationship, I do agree that there's kind of this honeymoon stage where you're just about it, and there's a physicality element to it, and there's an emotional addiction to it. But things simmer down, and you're like, okay, like it's just like in that scene from Sex and the City, the movie, where Miranda, what's her name? Oh gosh, what's her name for the Sarah Michelle Gellar? Not Gellar, is it? Sarah Michelle Parker? Is it the one who plays the main?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember her name right now, but she Big leaves her in the film. Like, he doesn't come to the wedding. She gets mad. They go on the Mexican honeymoon without him, and she brings all the girls. And there's like a couple at a table kissing, and they're all making out. And Miranda yells at them, "Yeah, it's so hot. 3 days in." You're like, yes. Like, where that first 3 days, baby, you can't get enough of it. But then 30 years later, you're like, oh, here comes this fool.
Yeah.
You're over it, man. You're like,
well, you're not going to be on your best behavior 24/7, right? Yeah. There's some ugly times,
you're going to fart, you're going to laugh, and you're going to sleep.
There's going to be some parts that are, pretty much disgusting.
Oh, snap.
There are. I mean, that's just being the species that we are, being animals.
Human beings are disgusting, yeah.
There's nasty things that we do. We try to put ourselves above other animals, but we're the same.
Listen.
It's still there. We do the same things. We just choose.
Still looking for that ape with a fade, right?
Okay. All right. I don't know where this is going. I don't know what you're trying to spread here. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Careful with saying the word spread in an episode about love.
Yeah. Spreading something else there.
Okay, sir.
Number 9, is love exhausting?
Isn't this episode proof of that? Yes. Love, it's exhausting because it's called marriage. Ha ha ha.
That's a good one.
And you give up, but however, because you have to give up I for we, and that becomes very tiring at times, because sometimes you just want to actually just focus on you. You just want to live your best life. You want to do you want to focus on what you need and feed self. And then there's this other person who's like, hey, love me. Hey, I have attentions. Hey, I have something to tell you. And you're like, and you're just kind of confused as to why you're supposed to care all the time.
Yeah. I think it's a lot when you have to be concerned about an extra person and their needs and wants, and then still be concerned about yourself. It's to added complexity to everything.
Yes.
So it can get tiring at times trying to figure out somebody else and be nice or be thoughtful to their needs and wants.
100%. Question number 10, does love make you a better person?
I think it depends on who you are in love with. If you found your actual love, then I believe yes. I mean, I know you probably believe you can fall in love with toxic people, so
100%.
That would not make you a better person.
100%.
But to me, that's the universe is saying that that's not your actual love. That is someone you thought you loved, but to me, it's not actually the actual one. But remember, that goes in line with my opinion of falling in love with one soul. Or I don't believe in souls.
Well, yeah, you believe you can just bump with a bunch of people, but not love a bunch of people.
Oh, wow. Oh boy. Oh, buddy. Okay.
Hey. Looking good, papi.
Ay. No puede ser. No puede ser.
Yo no sé.
¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasó? ¿Cuál es tu problema?
No entiendo.
Oh, mi bueno. You ultimately are saying it's so only with your actual love, because you can have this infatuation but not real love. So the time when you really do have love, that's when you fall in love, and it makes you better. Okay. For me, I would say, yeah, the opposite, right? So if you fall in love with the right person, then yes, you're going to be a better person, but you can fall in love with the person that's wrong for you, and then that's going to be the reason why you're on a downward spiral in your life. And we've seen it over and over again. However, people may or may not want to own up to that, and it's hard also because we're always on the outside of people's relationships.
Do we know that it's true love? I don't know.
It's hard to know.
We're just taking their word at face value, right? They say, I love
Correct.
this person more than anything else, but truly they don't give a damn about them.
Correct. Yeah.
We don't know.
Like, I love them, but I have 3 side chicks.
Got all these other people in rotation.
Is it really? Hey.
What's going on here? It's not a carousel.
Was bopping, baby. So it's hard.
Number 11. Can you fall out of love with someone?
Yes. Love is a daily habit that takes work. You have to wake up and choose to love that person each and every day. If you don't, the days will add up and your love tank will go on empty.
I do agree with that it definitely is possible to fall out of love with someone. Mm-hmm. People grow apart, and the love can grow apart with it. It can go hand in hand. So yeah, that it happens.
Correct. Question 12. Does everyone fall in love in their lifetime? Is love guaranteed?
Definitely not. I think there's people that just don't get a chance. There's some people who they're laser focused on a goal and there's nothing else in sight, and they never find love. Or by the time they get successful enough, they can't find real love. There's a lot of fakers and beggars out there. So
Ouch.
There's definitely people that don't fall in love in their lifetime.
I would say probably not. Yeah, there's some people who are too afraid to fall in love. They're too afraid to get past their own hangups and issues. There are also some people who just can't figure it out. They can't figure out what their hangups are, what they need from someone else, and what they're willing to really do for someone else. And it's kind of two ships passing in the night. So I agree, love is not guaranteed in this life.
That's true. Question 13. How do you know when you have fallen in love with someone?
Ooh, such a great question. It's different for everyone. For me, I would say it comes down to being devoted to that person's happiness, success, and also feeling the reciprocation from that person. So much of my life is dedicated to the work that I do. And when someone loves me, they support not only me as a person and who I am and my quirkiness and my craziness and my amazement because I am a queen.
Oh, wow.
They also support my endeavors. They're there to provide light in my tunnel no matter what, and not in a nasty way, guys, just saying.
Don't talk about tunnels. What the heck is this? Is this for children?
This is for children?
This is getting strange.
Hey, it's not WAP, I'll tell you that.
All right.
But the sentence, that's all I'm saying about that phrase. But love is it's more than just a simple act of just saying I love you. It's the actions that you take. It's also being there when you know to be there. It's laughing at my jokes, and I have plenty of them because I am not only a queen, but I'm also hilarious.
That's nice to have those traits.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. I mean, listen, life is funny by the minute. So it gets funnier by the minute. So I just try to really go for the ride and laugh as much as possible and try to make others around me laugh. And this is the love that I crave. It's the love that when I get it, I know that I'm loved, and it in turn fuels me to be able to love back and do what I love best. Because I think when you live in a space where you are in love, the content you create is better, the work you do is better, the way you care for those loved ones in your life is better. I think love is a wonderful fuel that if you have it in your engine, you just go that much further.
All right. So there's a lot there about how you know when you've fallen in love. Mm-hmm. But for me, I just break it down into a simple formula. And I don't know if everybody else can use this.
No.
But I use it. No, but it's very simple.
Oh, no.
It comes down to a number, and it's actually one of your favorite numbers.
See.
And all I think about is if you wake up and the first thing is your love, the love of your life, and you do that for 7 weeks straight, then you know that you're in love. See how, look at that.
7 weeks straight.
Yeah,
So
7
is
weeks
that what
straight.
you said to yourself in college? And that's why we're here today?
See what my formula says? It says it's a minimum of 7 weeks before you can fall into love.
So what happens on that
It's a
8th
minimum.
week and you don't think about that person?
It's already been emblazoned in your mind.
Just kind of
It's actually,
ingrained in the stone.
it's, guess what? This is not scientific, but
Correct.
it's long-term memory at that point. It's a habit. Oh, let's even go with that.
You're trifling.
See how that is,
But
though?
you know
It makes
what
it
I
really
love
easy.
is you can.
Yeah.
But so you're saying that you can love people for just a 7-week period, right? Like so. What?
It's not about loving them for a 7-week period. It's just that when you, because what thing do you just wake up and you think about first thing, or in the moment when you're in your waking hours?
Someone might be thinking about like bacon.
So if you do that, then that is your first love. If you do that
Bacon.
seven weeks straight, if you wake up
Dead
and
flesh,
first thing,
animal flesh.
yes, some people do have a love of bacon.
You're trifling.
Some people do. 7 weeks straight, though. 7.
So Khalil, nearly 16 years later, are you still thinking about me first in the morning?
You first in the morning?
Correct.
Not every morning. Straight.
There you go.
Of course, not every morning.
There you go.
But when that's
Falling
when I
out
first
of love it much?
No, that's when you first wake up. You know what's funny though is it may not be when I wake up, but when I do my tossing and turning at night, I look to see where you are. I'm like, oh no, you left, and that makes my heart crumble.
Why are you just trying to put our sleep patterns out there in these streets like this?
So, because you brought that up, because technically, when I wake up and I'm up for the day,
Yes.
no, that's not my first thought differ. But during the night when I wake up, I'm always thinking about you. I wake up and I think about you first. I'm like,
I
there
know
you go.
why. Yeah.
Your sound sleep, I like
Yeah,
that.
I know why you're thinking about me. Yeah.
I want to make sure you have a good night.
Hey, Poppy.
Good night. That's what it's about.
And just so people know, the reason is because I'm an early riser and he is not. That is why I'm not in the bed. Because you're trying to act like I'm out in these streets or something.
No, I wasn't trying to say that. No,
Careful.
I'm not trying to say any of that.
Question number 14. Is it possible to fall in love with the wrong person? We hinted about this as well.
Yeah, we definitely did. It's to me, it's a misjudgment of your feelings is how that can happen, or you just certain circumstances can lead to that. So it definitely is possible, as we were saying before.
And it's really, I think the biggest thing is not being clear on who you are and what you want out of a relationship and what you want out of another person. And that lack of clarity lends to missteps and having relationships with people you probably shouldn't be in a relationship with.
Number 15. Does sex and love go hand in hand? Mano y mano.
Oh, that's like a nice, what's that?
Mano y mano?
No.
That's hand in hand too.
Oh, si, senor. But I mean, is that what is that phrase? I keep wanting to say double entendre, but I don't think that's correct.
Definitely not. Definitely, that is not that. Do you think there's
or like
name
a
for
pun,
that?
maybe? Like hand in hand? Like it seems like it's like...
Well, what's the pun?
I know. I can't say it. You know what I'm thinking.
For hand in hand?
I know. It's weird. Couldn't answer the question. What's the answer, Khalil?
Yeah, alright. You want me to answer the question?
Yes.
Nah, I mean, sex, it's an act. And just by definition, love is an emotion. So they're separate things. Love can be expressed in many ways. It doesn't necessarily need to be sex. And sex can be done without love. I mean, look at the lions on the plains.
What are you talking about?
They don't all love each other.
How do you know?
The male lion can't love all those herd of cubs.
Maybe they're polyamorous.
Females. No, there's not love with sex. That's not just a bond like that.
That's what all you men would like to think, wouldn't you?
You can use it to express love, but you don't have to though. You can just be having fun. It's kind of like if you're doing drugs, that doesn't mean you love the other person if you're both doing the same drugs and sharing it. Sharing is caring, but that doesn't mean that this is love here. You do an exciting activity together. Love. See, that's not the way you know the way you do it. I just said it early. 7 weeks straight.
So do 7 weeks of drugs together.
If it's the first thing in the morning, then it kind of works out that way. Yeah. Think about the drugs.
Oh, sex?
I mean, as long as it's with that person, it's just 7 weeks of thinking about that person. So it's hard not to think about the person you're having sex with.
Nice little morning routine here.
No, but if you think about it, if you're having sex with a person, you have to think about them, or you should. I mean, you could think about someone else. See, that's why. Yeah, that's why you can't use sex and go hand in hand.
Oh Jesus!
It doesn't make sense.
I'm so in love with this episode.
Yeah, because people people they don't always think about the partner they're having sex with while they're having sex. So that's definitely not.
I love how your tone changes there too. That's so interesting.
Well, I got really excited. That's why when I thought about it, that's my excited tone.
About people sleeping with someone and thinking about someone else while sleeping with someone else.
Well, things happen, but it's not the
what
best.
It looked like. Hey, what it looked like.
It's not the best times to do that, but there are people that do that. Well, there's also a Black Mirror episode about that, which is crazy, where you can just you could relive your experience with the previous person. They don't even know that you're thinking about somebody else. That's a shame. While you're having
my
sex
answer to question number 15, yes and no. I completely agree with you that sex is sex. You can definitely have sex without love. I 100% believe in that. I think you can just bust a nut and continue on with life, woman or man. However, I think if you love someone in a romantic way, then you probably want to have a sexual intimate moment with that person. But not every person expresses their love through sex, and that people, again, can have love without sex and sex without love, vice versa. Yeah. It's an interesting contradiction there.
Another point, I don't think of it as a contradiction, but what about people in like a long distance relationship? Absolutely. They're not having sex, but they still love each other. So there you go.
And then also
astronauts. If you're in space, you're not having space. You can't have space sex with this partner on Earth.
I can't with you
through a satellite. I don't know how you would do it.
What I would also say is when you realize you also, when you Zoom sex.
I know. Oh, you thought the same thing. You were thinking because I was like, people do that like the sexting thing. Yes. So I thought about that, but. That's not. I'm thinking about like physical sex. When we're talking about sex, we're thinking physical,
intimate, physical,
not like the digital or virtual things. That's different.
I was gonna say you can also love someone and realize you can't be with that person, and then that means you're not necessarily sexually expressive with them, but you still love them, right? There are people who identify like unrequited love, right? There are people who walk around, fall totally head over heels for someone else, and they're with someone else or just not into them, whatever the situation is, and. They still love them, but they're not sexually expressing that. And it is what it is. Yep. Question number 16. What is the biggest misconception about love?
That love makes you feel happy forever.
Ooh, explain, sir.
Well, people think it seems like that's kind of like the goal of single people is to find this one that they'll be with forever. And I think they just think finding that forever person makes me forever happy, but it's not that easy. We talked about it before, like love can go away, right? So just being in love doesn't necessarily mean you'll be in love forever, and that also you'll be happy forever, because as we said again, there's some painful times of love, there's some harsh times, so I think we gotta I
think we're gonna scare everyone away from
oh, really? It's scary?
Well, they're going to be like, these people are obviously...
It's a danger to your health.
This is a plea for help. I think we should ask them, are they feeling okay?
Maybe.
And then, there's a hotline that we could call.
1-800 love? I don't know.
Oh, Jesus. Because you're like, hey, there's some disgusting, painful times here. Fall in love.
You got to realize that, we're talking about some of the untold truths of love.
Yes, exactly.
That's what's coming up.
Not everyone's guaranteed to find it, as we mentioned before. Not everyone's guaranteed to hold on to it. Not everyone's going to even find it. And even if you do, if you fall in love, could be with the wrong person, or you not have that love forever. So I agree. It is one of the biggest misconceptions is that love in and of itself is just eternal. And then also that love in and of itself, I would agree, is this kind of automatic equal sign to happiness. And that is, I think, as we learned from Will Smith and Jada and the unfortunate story of entanglements. Yes. You bud me once, you bud me back. Ultimately.
Entanglement.
That's what I said. God, she will regret that episode for the rest of her life. That ultimately you have got to find happiness with it, and love is a beautiful complement to it, but it is not the source of that happiness, because if so, it is a failing proposition for you and your life.
True. Number 17. What is the biggest surprise you discovered about love? Mine is actually probably, I think there's a bunch of people that believe this, and that's that I could find it at all. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think anybody could love me. I was like, wow, and I could find somebody I can love.
Just so easy to love.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think it was possible. I was amazed.
So that's interesting, my love. That you didn't even. So I would say, for me, love forces you to grow up, expand your comfort zone. As you know, I'm not like deeply a touchy-feely person. I'll take hugs, but you know why I don't like, generally with touching and stuff like that, I feel like it can get very intimate, and that's like not my love language. My love language is words. So whenever you want to talk to me or talk for a long time, that like drives me crazy in such a good way. That's like my love language, versus most people, ironically, in my life, I would say, are more physical, right? Yeah. They want to hug, they want to group, they want all this stuff. And I'm just
no group.
True. Except from you. Yes.
You're talking about a husband's deed?
Wowzers. Let's not get too explicit here. This is for children. And love forces me to have to confront my own physical intimacy issues for the betterment of our relationship, but just generally as betterment as a person. I think you have to... There's certain quirks that we all walk around with, and in our minds, we're like, it's totally reasonable that I say no to everything. Like, sure, but it's not necessarily the best for society. And so love forces you to be a better version of yourself. And that is a big surprise. You never realize just like how broken or how messed up things are within you until you see that confronted in your partner. And your partner forces you to kind of say, hey, I gotta get this together so that it's for the betterment of the group and for the betterment of the love. Question number 18. If you are in love, can you truly be attracted to other folks?
That's 100% yes. Because attraction is not love. So, of course, you could be attracted to others.
Pinch.
But that's where that thing that I told you hurts you the most, the jealous partner, that's the hardest thing because of this question right here.
So, when you're off as a missile, your partner is supposed to be totally cool with that.
What are you saying?
That's what you're saying, huh? You're saying, ooh, la la.
No.
And the person's supposed to say, go have fun, honey.
You're supposed to trust this person that you love so much. It doesn't matter. Because attraction is just attraction. It's not action. Attraction is attraction. It is not action.
Attraction is attraction until it becomes action. Booyah!
But that's not necessarily true. It doesn't become action.
It becomes action. Cases. Remember, not love.
That's something else.
Your own words.
But that's something else. Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, it would be action, but it wouldn't be love. But it's not most likely going to happen because you're going to be attracted to so many people. You're not having an action with so many people. And how are you acting in COVID world?
You better work.
Yeah, you better. It's hard to do these actions that you speak of. Even
I was on us popping.
It's just attraction. It's not action.
I 100% agree with you. I, as you know, love to adore the beauty of a beautiful man. There's so many
Can't understand it. Man.
Yeah, as you adore all the beautiful women in the world.
But only women are beautiful in my mind.
According to you.
Yeah.
For me, I find women to be beautiful. I find men to be beautiful. Yeah. And there's so many around the world. And it would be really cruel for me not to admire the beautiful specimen of men walking near and afar from me. And again, as you would probably prescribe to this, it's okay to look, just not touch. And
I didn't make up the prescription.
Unless you're into that, and then ooh la la.
No, I didn't make that prescription up, though. That's all I'll say. That's
you can look, not touch.
I didn't make that up, though. That's a man thing.
But you subscribe to it.
No, but I'm saying that's a whole man philosophy of looking at things.
You sound like a super...
What?
Inclusive, like you're not thinking broad enough. Women are also, again, people of different sexual orientations.
Yeah, but women, aren't they going to touch, though? That's the problem.
Not necessarily. They could also look.
You say that. I don't know. It's very risky.
And it depends on what they're touching. They might not be touching a man. They would be touching a woman.
They can touch anybody, but I don't know. I think women are going to touch too. You think they're just going to look?
I mean, I'm not out here in these streets touching a bunch of men, and I definitely have a list of men that I adore. Hello, Josh Hartnett. Hello, Michael B. Jordan. You can adore gorgeous men and not have to touch them. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Yes, and when you have the opportunity to, you smile and you take a picture for the gram.
All right.
Oh gosh,
you're enjoying that too much.
Oh, please, yes.
Number 19. Should love only be monogamous?
Now that is a question.
I don't think love has to be, but then the problem is once you start to split up your love, I think the love diminishes, to be honest. It's easier to have love for one person, but imagine now you have 5 others. It's like, I love you, but wait, Cynthia, she's in need. I mean, what do you do? It's kind of hard to do.
She's in need?
Yeah. And you don't go into details because you don't want to spoil the bunch. They'll say, hey, I needed that on last Friday, but you didn't take care of my needs.
What exactly needs are they being fulfilled here?
Oh, the dishes.
I thought you were talking about groceries.
Something dirty needs to be cleaned.
So socks.
Yeah, clean and dirty stuff. That's what I'm talking about. See how that can happen, though?
Clothed or not clothed?
Well, it's dirty. That's all we know. We don't know.
Wop.
I mean, we don't know. But
hey.
It gets complicated if it's not.
Always. Yes. We're going to definitely dive into this topic. We believe in definitely a later episode because it's something you and I talk about as well. I would say it depends on the people involved. If both parties only want to love each other and that's like in their hearts, they say it's you and me and that's all I ever want, then cool. Then love can absolutely be monogamous. You can have a monogamous relationship and it not be painful for either parties. However, there are parties in this world who have identified the fact that opening up the rules to their relationship makes the relationship work better for them. Meaning she goes and she has her moments of touch and look and anything else in between. And he does the same, but they still find their time to be able to be together and it works for them. And I think that we as a society have to open up our minds to the idea that because cheating is something that people struggle with in our society. And maybe some people are not meant to be monogamous and we have to open the path for people to do that freely with less judgment and less kind of damnation, essentially, that not everyone has to love the same way. And some people love in multitude and let them love like what's his name? Sister Wives. Love was meant to be multiplied.
But this also brings up the important question that we did talk about before. Sex is not necessarily love. Very true. Cheaters may cheat, but that doesn't mean they love that person they cheated with. That's true. There might be a reason that they did that. They were acting out or they were just trying to get some. Just like I wanted some.
You laughed a little bit too hard for that one. You're trifling.
And then non-monogamous relationships, sometimes another person's brought in just because it's more fiscally responsible to bring this other person in. You start a business with this other person. And it makes the legalities much easier when you draw up contracts and stuff. It brings somebody trustworthy.
You draw up the contract for that late night dance in the
sheets? For your business when you're writing up the business plan and proposal.
And you sign it on genitalia, huh?
Why are you doing all this? This person, it's just easier. And then guess what? Food and clothing and board are all provided to this person. It's easy.
3, 2, 1, whop. There you go.
So, the monogamous thing it's a different thing. It's different than the non-monogamous relationship.
You can't even discuss this without begging and pleading.
No, I'm not begging and pleading. I'm just telling you that it's asked. What we say is love. Should a love only be monogamous? Well, it's love itself, but like is different. You can like too many people. That's the problem.
You are a mess.
It's a crazy thing like that.
My stance on it is going to be the idea that, like I said, monogamy for those who really want to commit to it. And if not, then polyamorous. Have at it, booze. Get it in.
All right, you talking some different stuff.
Yes.
We talking about love here.
Question 20. Is love beautiful all the time? I definitely can imagine what your answer is.
No, it can cause passionate fights all the time.
Si, senor. Like a telenova.
But nothing's absolute, so of course it's not all the time, right? But
very true.
We're showing media that love is so great. Then they maybe have their one big fight, but then it's happily ever after, and that's still not true. It's kind of like,
very true.
Here we love each other. It's like a roller coaster. You go up and down. You know, you have really great times, you have really bad times. It's a roller coaster. It's exhilarating, right?
And we're back to talking about the pain and the struggle.
But when you get that high by going up on the roller coaster, it's really nice. You know, you're like, wow, this is going to be fun.
High by going up on the roller coaster. I wonder what type of things were coming to your mind when you said that.
Well, the lovey things, like doing lovey-dovey things, like walking underneath the moonlight under, you know, not false pretenses.
You are such a liar.
Leaving footprints in the sands on a nice warm night. Those are the things that make
you excited?
Walking around a lake with the love of my life and just admiring the stars. Pointing out constellations that we could one time visit maybe in the future.
Things you've never done with me, yes. So I wonder who this chick is, and you deeply loved it. You're apparently looking at stars with, and you're...
The stargazing that we do randomly.
I think we've stargazed maybe 3 times in our relationship.
I would say it's actually 6. If I was a counting person.
In all 16 years, eh?
That's pretty good. 6 out of 16 ain't bad.
Oh, God. 6 out of 16 ain't bad.
Yeah. We're just talking about stargazing, though, not naming stars. That's a different episode.
We already went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
My answer would be love is not beautiful all the time. Because loved some of the things you talked about, in addition to the horror that is human beings. Also, you yourself go through ailments, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it is anything in between. Maybe it's a career pain, whatever the thing is. We're all going through things that break us and force us to rebuild ourselves, and someone else has to be there through that process if they choose to be. And it's not beautiful. It's actually quite tragic and disgusting. And true love sees you through that, the best and the worst of it all. And that's how you know if someone really does love you, because they're there through those vomit nights, through the
tough times,
through the bleeds and the this and the that and the, oh goodness, will this ever end, through the rock bottom. If they're there, then that's your boo. That's your ride or die right there.
It was the best of time. It was the worst of times.
It was Charles Dickens all day.
Tale of Two Cities, maybe?
100%.
Last but not least, This is 21. Is love a mystery? Or is there a way to make sense of it? I would just sum it up as love is mysterious, mythical, and malleable. Ooh, to make sense of it, one must explore it with his or her partner. I don't think you can just sit with it on your own. You definitely have to figure this out with your partner. This is the only way that you'll figure out the secrets of love. Because love is different for every couple, right? It's not something that's the same for all. Some people love getting tatted up together all the way around their eyes and on their head and everywhere, and then piercing everything in sight. That can be an expression of love. So to make sense of it, you got to figure out what do you each other like and what you can do for your partner that they like. And I'm not talking about anything freaky.
But that's a part of the equation.
If it is, though, that could be part of it, though. But it doesn't have to be, like I said. You can just you can go play golf together. That might be part of your love.
How do you go from freaky to play golf?
It's a very lovely thing.
What do you think they do with those golf clubs, Chloe?
At Top Golf?
Hey!
I think they sanitize them now.
You better work.
They sanitize them after use, I would hope. You got to be careful with the COVID times.
Yeah. Love... There's a way to make sense of it. Absolutely. I think for me, what I've learned, and obviously I don't think there's any one expert. I know there are people who call themselves love experts, but love is always evolving and it's different per person, per culture, per couple. There's so many moving pieces to it. But Love comes down to the following. Intentionality, meaning you have to be intentional about who you love and why you love each and every day. There has to be strategy in how you approach your love and your relationship. What works for you, what works for your partner, what works for you as a couple. There has to be attraction. You have to want your person. If it comes to a point where you don't want them, then it's going to affect how you treat each other and how you interact with each other. And it's a breakdown in the relationship. There's also has to be compatibility. The idea of, and you and I are very, very different. However, we have established things that allow us to be compatible. But if you have no way possible of being compatible, then you have you have to define and create a different type of relationship for you. There's some people who they love each other, but they can't live in the same house. They got to live in separate houses. Do you, whatever works for you, your rules, your relationship, your rules. But you got to figure out ways to have compatibility. Also,
yeah, that goes back when I said be malleable. You gotta be. Sometimes you're not compatible, but you gotta kind of figure out how to make things compatible, right? How to make things work. Otherwise, you're just oil and water, and
you're gonna always fight.
It's not gonna work. You gotta figure something out. You gotta change certain ideas, even.
Exactly, and there also has to be a purpose to your love. Why exactly are you fighting for this? Why are you choosing to love this person every single day? If there's no purpose, then there's no reason for it.
Oh, that's a good one. You have to have a purpose.
You have to have a purpose.
Wow, that just takes all the romance out of love.
I know.
There needs to be a purpose for this. It's a business. What is the purpose of your business?
What is the vision of your
love? To be profitable.
Yeah.
This love must be profitable. I mean,
yes.
There has to be
for
a
some
purpose
people,
to this
it has
love.
to make children. For some people, it's to make money. For some people, there better be goals.
Wow.
There must
love
be
goals.
Yeah, always. There also has to be necessity. You need to need this person in some way or form. You don't need to live. You don't need this person to live, but you need to be in this relationship.
They make you better. If not having them makes you worse.
Correct. Yeah. If you don't need that person in any way possible, then you don't need to be in a relationship with that person. There has to be some type of necessity attaching you to that person. Otherwise, that's not your person. And then also, I think spontaneity.
Of course, you think that.
Of course, because I'm spontaneous, and there's things that I'm just like, cool. Let's just jump in the pool. Why don't we?
Yeah.
And that drives you crazy, but it's also what drives you crazy. And you need that in life. You can't be so rigid to the point where you literally can predict everything, because then you don't need a person. You just need great AI technology and some type of sex doll that's animated. So,
what if you're trying to turn your partner into the first AI?
There we go. And that's a different episode with that.
You're experimenting on human beings. Your partner, though, only. Is that allowed?
Moving, because we are at that time again, sir. It is coming to the end of our 155th episode of WokeNFree. Quite the episode, doing another Woken-Free story time called 21 Questions About Love. Will we leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our nenext episode, we'll be discussing what numbers matter the most. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation. Make sure you tune in next week for Woken Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokenFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show, submit a topic for an upcoming episode, or share how you feel on our guess what? Contact us page at WokenFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. Social media, hit us up. We're very active. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and TikTok at Woken Free. If you want to collab with us, visit where, our contact us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode. Make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woken Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woken Free is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Until next time.
Love ya.